Hey friends, welcome back to Bubbly Balloon Co. My name is Rachel, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a fun, bright, vibrant, summer fruit-themed balloon wall. Now this video is going to be a little different than what I normally do. Rather than explaining to you as I go, I'm going to reference a couple of videos that go more into detail on the techniques I'm using today. But what I want to do is really show you some close-ups, let you see some of that handwork, like what magic actually goes into making this happen, give you a little bit more visuals, more close-up visuals on this one. And then at the end, we're going to be doing a lot of detail, bringing this wall from pretty basic to a little extra, a little over the top with a ton of foil balloon accents. And one other thing I'm going to be doing here at the end of this creation is really breaking down the cost for you guys. I do get asked a lot how much it costs to make a certain look, so I'm going to break down exactly what I spent on supplies. I'm going to break down how much time this took and just give you guys a better idea on the actual, raw cost of what goes into a creation like this. So if that sounds fun, stay tuned. So let's talk about supplies. So for this creation, I bought two main colors that I really want to be like the standout colors, the focal pieces. They're just super bright and summery in my opinion. So that's Aquamarine and Raspberry, both from Sempertex. Now in Aquamarine, I have the 5-inch, I have the 11-inch, and then I have a bag of 24-inch balloons. In the Raspberry, I did a 9-inch, an 11-inch, and a 24-inch. I wish so bad that Sempertex made 17-inch balloons. I have not found them. If you guys have, please let me know in the comments below because I adore some of the colors from Sempertex, also called Vitalitex, same brand. But I've never found 17s from them. And to me, it leaves like a gaping hole when you have, 5, 9, 11, and then 24 and 36. Like it's just a massive difference. So what I'm doing to fill that gap is I have some whites here. I have 16-inch from Qualitex. I have 5-inch whites from Tuftex and 11-inch whites from Tuftex. These are all kind of leftover balloons for me, so I'm just going to use them sparingly, but I want some bridge in size between the smalls, the mediums, and the huge, And then I also have yellow from Tuftex in 11, and I believe mostly in 17-inch as well, to really kind of be like that bridge between those medium and huge sizes, okay? Now I also went crazy on foils. I bought so many foil balloons for this job. So I have 3 18-inch lime foil balloons, 3, I think, 18-inch lemon balloons. I have 3 different types of watermelon balloons. I don't know if I'll end up using them all. And then I have a couple of these really cute pineapples as well. So I'm gonna be going a little crazy on the fruit. You'll see that at the end. But as far as supplies go, it's relatively simple. I've got 4 colors, 3 sizes in each color, and yeah, we're just gonna have fun. Okay, so once we've got this thing all assembled, I filled in most of the major holes, most of the, missing spots. I've filled in with 5-inch, 11-inch, 17-inch balloons, some extra 24s as needed. Once you have this kind of like overall shape you're going for, we can start adding in our accent balloons. Now, I want you to remember what this looked like here. How plain this looked. Yes, we have dimension. Yes, we have volume. We've got all those sizes, all those colors. That's kind of fun. But when I show you the finished wall versus this, I want you to realize how much of a difference these foils make and how like themed you can make it by the addition of a few foils. Well, I'm adding more than a few today, but just honestly, like, it's not a lot of money and it makes a world of difference in a creation like this. Now, I covered the technique that I used today of how to create this balloon wall in another video, which I will link here in case you haven't seen it yet. But what I wanted to say to you guys is if you want to fill yours in more, you're welcome to do that. I left a few little holes here and there, a few places you might be able to see a 260 or whatever, because I know that I'm using just a buttload of foils today and I'm going to be able to cover so much of that. But if you're making this at home, you're doing a balloon wall, just know you can, tie your columns together as tight as you want, your garlands together. You can fill in with as many detail balloons, whether that's 5, 11, 17s, 24s, 36s. You can fill any and every little, chink of sunlight, anything you can see, you're welcome to fill that in. I don't think it's super necessary when you're putting a lot of detail on top of the creation, because we can kind of be strategic about it and hide things we want to hide, and then obviously put the foils where they're going to look best. Okay, so let's get into that. Okay, to inflate my foils, I have a hand pump here. You can use a straw if you prefer. A lot of times when you buy foil balloons, they come with a straw for inflation. It's not recommended that you use a normal air pump like we use on our, on our garlands here, because the heat that gets generated by the pump can melt the glue seal here if it's a self-sticking one, which all of these are. So they do make special automatic, like mechanical air pumps that you can use on foil balloons. I haven't bought one of them yet. They're a little on the pricier side, so that's not an investment I've made yet. So I still use hand pumps, straws, whatever you want, okay? So I'm gonna go to town, inflate all my foils, and I just wanna mention that these foils do last for absolutely ever. So whether you have bought them well in advance, even once you've inflated them, if you're in a position to bring them back to your, your workspace, your home, wherever, and then just hold on to them for next time, that can also work. And if you're really clever, you might even figure out how to deflate them and use them again. I don't often do that, I'll be completely honest with you. But I do love, if you add these to your collection, how long they can last you. So just gonna slip that in, okay, hold it tight, and all right, you wanna go a little farther than you feel comfortable with for the most part, because most of these like wrinkles and lines will come out of here with air pressure. It takes a lot to pop one of these bad boys, and usually if you just keep going, a lot of those wrinkles do come out. All right, so get a little arm workout in, and then you get some cute stuff like this. See, I think that's gonna be a nice pop here. I hope so. I had to jinx it. The pineapple was my favorite element, and of course, I had to pop it because I said they're really hard to pop. That's what I get. All right, I know we've covered this before, but when I'm putting foils onto latex balloons, I don't use like the crappy glue dots that come with most kits and stuff like that on Amazon. I personally don't find those work very well, even latex to latex, definitely not on foil. So what I like to use is either glue dashes, which I mainly use these. There's two shapes in this box. I don't know if you can see. Well, they're both squares, but one is smaller than the other. I use a glue dash to hold the little tail down, kind of fold it back and press it down, so you can't see that part. And I can occasionally use glue dashes to put the foils on. I don't find that it holds like that securely. The only thing I've found that I'm obsessed with, and I know like I can put my trust in, is Balloon Bond. It is crazy expensive, but it comes with a lot in a package, and it goes a very long way. You don't have to use a whole strip, and it comes with, I don't know, 100 or more strips. So I personally, like, that's my go-to. So when I'm doing foils, I'll maybe like put the tail up with one of these, use part of Balloon Bond strip to really secure it on there, and then you're good to go. All right, now I've got 6 of these plain round ones in lemons and limes. I've got a couple of the specialty watermelon slice ones, and then I've got one one sad pineapple left, or one happy pineapple left. But yeah, so I'm gonna start with these round, kind of like the more basic ones, because to me, I don't know, it's kind of like when I'm detailing a garland. Usually I fill in the little stuff first and then I add the big accents last. Either way works, to be totally honest, but today this is what I'm feeling. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some balloon bond on here, right? So it comes in a sheet like this. I'm gonna go ahead and take off one of these strips. They tear off. There's 4 on a sheet. So I tore one off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. I'm gonna start in half. I might shrink that down later. Okay, and then on the side the tail is tucked into, right? So the tail's folded back here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the balloon bond here. Now, if you know exactly where you're gonna be putting the balloon, you can be intentional about where you place your bond there, your adhesive, to make sure it's going somewhere that is gonna be touching a latex balloon. All right, so I press that down a little bit, peel off this paper backing, just kind of help it get stuck on there real good. And then I think I'm just gonna start right here. Place that adhesive directly onto one of the latex balloons and press and hold. I think the package says within 60 seconds it's fully adhered. I don't find a need to hold it that long, especially for something lightweight, but just as long as you're comfortable with it. Look how cute that is. Just bouncing there on the surface. I love it. Another line. Okay, now this lemon, I want to put it right in here. So I'm putting my balloon bond on the top there so it can stick to the latex balloon that's above it. All right. Press it up, and now it's sticking to this pink balloon here. See? Look at that. And that, I feel like we're adding layers to this, like extra dimension when it's, you know, sticking out like that. It's just another level. I love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this up on this top corner where I know it's gonna be touching another balloon. All right, and if I wanted to do a second piece of balloon bond, I could go ahead and do that here. I could do it in the back, wherever I feel most comfortable with it. So I wanna get this holding in a little better position, so I'm gonna go ahead and add another one onto this yellow balloon here. And I'm just gonna do the opposite, put it straight onto the latex, peel off the label. It actually sticks better to latex because it doesn't have that shiny surface that you get with the foil. So I find that it actually adheres better if you're in a position to apply it to the latex first. Don't be afraid to do that. Look at this little cutie, you guys. Come on. So sweet. It's like a fruit salad. Our summer fruit wall all done. Now I want you guys to notice how different the addition of these foils makes this thing look. We went from super basic to a little over the top, a little extra, and these foils are around $1 a piece. I spent about $15 on foils. I didn't even end up using them all, but I really, really love especially introducing like uniquely shaped ones. Okay, so the watermelon slices, this pineapple here, rip to the other pineapple, but I love those like unusually shaped ones. Sometimes they're a little more, you can even get ones that are a little bigger, a little more, you know, a little bolder, stuff like that. But guys, I'm telling you, it creates such a big difference in the final look of a creation like this. So before we wrap up, I just want to go over pricing. I promised you guys I would break down the price for this. So the 2 colors I bought specifically for this look were the raspberry and the aquamarine, both from Sempertex. I bought 3 bags, 1 bag in 3 sizes in each of those. Now, I just want to warn you, the 24-inch ones were very expensive. It comes in a bag of 10. Those were like $15 a bag. Almost. Without that, this would have been a very cheap creation. So for those 2 main colors in those 3 sizes, I spent $45 plus shipping, which I think was $8, but 30 of that $45 was for the 24 inchers. Now, I didn't use up everything that I bought, so I have a bunch left of the 24s. I even have some of the 11s and then the 5s and the 9s, you know, 1 in each color. Quite a bit still left, so I'll be able to use that in another creation, which is what I did with the whites and the yellows. Now I used much less than a bag of 11 inches in each. I used a few 16s in white, a few 17s in yellow, and then a couple of 5s in white as well. those I had already expensed on a previous job. So for me, that's no added expense, but if you wanted to, you know, account for that, much less than a bag in each of those colors. So for my purposes, like how I look at it, I spent $45 on the latex, I spent another 15 or so on the foil, and then I did buy from two main stores for this look. That was Balloons.online for the Sempertex, and then I got most of the foils at Bargain Balloons, and then I think shipping from each site was around $8. So all in, it was around $75, plus a few leftover whites and yellows from a previous job. Okay, now this took about 3 hours of my time to inflate, create, do all the foils, the final touches, the final add-ons, all that detail work. That was about 3 hours of my time. You might be faster, you might still be kind of practicing, getting up to that speed. All in all, it's really not that much time and expense for a creation like this. And depending on where you are, what your market is, what your competitors are getting away with, the quality of your work, how detailed and like extra you go with it, I think a creation of this size in most markets in the US would be able to go for something like $600 or more. Again, there's a million factors that go into it. I do have a couple different videos that tackle pricing. I can link those if you haven't seen those yet. I break it down in a lot of detail. Your girl's one to talk, okay? But just look at 3 hours of work, $75 more or less in materials. And if you're smart, guys, if you can plan ahead, I try to buy in bulk. Every time I talk about this, I share, my own strategies with you guys. But when I buy balloons, I try to buy in advance as much as I can for the upcoming seasons, colors, foils, anything I'm gonna want, just to save on shipping costs, to be honest. If I have a job, if I used to have 2-3 jobs in a weekend, if I had to pay shipping for every single one of those, it just gets out of hand. It eats up your profit so much. And I would not hesitate to pass those costs on to the client as well, like a rush fee, if they don't give you advance warning, stuff like that. I personally wouldn't shy away from that. But if you can plan it out, you can kind of think in the future and see what you're gonna want. You might be leaning towards, especially things like foils that, their expiry is not anytime soon. You can get away with ordering those in advance if you can fit that in the budget. I'm a big fan, but you gotta do what works for you. So if you have any tips on that, go ahead and share them in the comments below. If you guys have any videos you'd like to see from me next, please let me know. And if you're watching this video in the summer of 2022 and you haven't yet entered my giveaway, my last video, the monotone look, the one color balloon challenge video and giveaway, I am doing a pretty large giveaway. So go check that out if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.